They're watching. Every move you make, every word you say, they're waiting for you to slip. And when you do, when you show even the slightest hint of weakness, they'll pounce. Respect is power. And the moment you give it away, the moment you make the mistakes that others won't forgive, you become nothing more than a shadow, a forgotten man. You think they'll respect you because you're kind, because you apologize, because you play by their rules? You're wrong. The world doesn't respect the man who seeks approval. It respects the man who takes it. Predictability is the enemy of power. When they can read you, they control you. They see your every move before you make it, and the moment they know you, they can strip you of everything. But you can't let them. Not if you want to be untouchable. Not if you want respect that's earned through strength, through silence, through control. This is your warning. One misstep, one mistake, and you'll never regain what you've lost. They'll crush your respect, strip you bare, and leave you in the dust. Are you ready to stand above them? To master the game? Then listen close. Because when you make these mistakes, it's game over. Weakness. It's your first mistake, the one that will cost you everything. You might think it's okay to show vulnerability. You might think, I'm only human, I have feelings. But the world doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your struggles. It only sees weakness, and it will exploit it. The moment you crack, the moment you show even the slightest bit of fear or doubt, they will pounce. They'll see it, and they'll use it against you. Do you think apologizing will gain you respect? It won't. Do you think seeking validation will make people like you more? It won't. All it does is make you predictable. It makes you easy to control. Here's the truth. Weakness is not just emotional, it's physical. It's the way you beg for approval. It's the way you apologize when you don't need to. It's the way your voice shakes when you're unsure, the way your eyes dart around when you feel exposed. It's the way you give them the power. And when you give them that power, it's game over. You'll lose respect in an instant. The world doesn't respect the man who seeks approval. It respects the man who takes it. Understand this. The moment you let your emotions get the best of you, you stop being a force. You become a target. Do you want to be the man who's feared, the one who walks into a room and everyone knows he's in control? Then you can't afford to show weakness. One mistake, one crack in the armor. That's all it takes. So, stop apologizing. Stop seeking validation. Stop showing that you care about what others think of you, because the moment you do, you've already lost. Chasing validation. That's your second mistake. Stop begging for approval. You think seeking validation will make people like you. You think it'll earn you respect. But it doesn't. It just shows how desperately you need them. And the moment you show that, you lose power. You lose control. The world doesn't respect the man who seeks validation. It respects the man who demands it. When you rely on others to define your worth, you hand them your power. They can see your need, and they will use it against you. They'll manipulate you. Validation is a form of control. The moment you start looking for approval, you give up your strength. You become dependent on the opinions of others. And that's the moment you lose respect. You think seeking validation makes you visible. It makes you weak. The more you look to others for affirmation, the more you make yourself predictable. And predictability is death. When they know you'll come crawling back for their approval, you give them control. You become easy to control. Let me make this clear. The world doesn't care how hard you try to please them. They care about your strength. And strength comes from within, not from others. When you stop seeking validation, you take back control of your life. You want respect. You want power. Stop looking for permission to be yourself. Stop asking for their approval. When you stop seeking validation, you no longer depend on anyone else's opinion. You define your own worth, and that's when respect finds you. Mistake number 2, chasing validation. Stop it. Stop looking for others to tell you that you matter. Because when you stop needing their approval, that's when you become untouchable. Being predictable. That's mistake number 3. Predictability is your silent enemy. When they can read you, when they know exactly how you'll react, they control you. They see your every move before you make it. They know what to expect from you, and once they have that, you lose your power. Power doesn't come from being predictable. It doesn't come from doing the same thing, saying the same thing, responding the same way. It comes from being unpredictable. It comes from keeping them on edge. When you're predictable, you're easy to control. You're no longer a threat. They know how you'll act, what you'll say, and that makes you weak. But when you're unpredictable, you hold the power. You keep them guessing. They can't figure you out. And when they can't figure you out, they fear you, because the unknown is always more powerful than the known. The unknown keeps them on edge. The moment they know exactly what you'll do, you lose. You lose the game. The world doesn't respect the predictable. It respects the mysterious. It respects the man who keeps his cards close and makes sure no one can read him. A man who never gives the same response twice. Predictability, it's a trap. It's a prison. Mistake number 3. Being predictable. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to control. The moment you become predictable, you lose respect. You lose power. Stay unpredictable. Stay dangerous. Stay untouchable. Seeking attention. That's mistake number 4. You think attention is the key to respect, don't you? You think if you shine the brightest, you'll stand out. You think if you make enough noise, people will notice you. But here's the truth. Attention is not power. Attention is weakness. Because the moment you seek it, you give it away. When you're always chasing after the spotlight, when you're always performing for others, you stop controlling your own narrative. You start needing their recognition. You beg them to see you, and the moment you beg, you lose. Respect is not earned by begging for attention. It's earned by commanding it. Respect is earned by becoming the one who doesn't need anyone's gaze to know he's important. The one who walks into a room and they know he's there without a single word. Think about it. When you constantly seek attention, you make yourself predictable. You make yourself easy to control. They see your desperation, and they use it against you. They know you'll come crawling for their approval, and the more you chase it, the more they control you. Real power doesn't chase attention. Real power doesn't perform. It simply commands respect. When you seek attention, you show them that you need them to define your value. You need them to tell you that you matter. And the moment you need others to define you, you lose your strength. You lose your power. Stop seeking attention. Stop begging for their recognition. True respect comes from being so powerful that they can't ignore you. Mistake number 4, seeking attention. Stop it. The moment you start chasing attention, you lose respect. Instead, become the man who doesn't need to be seen, because they will see you anyway. Being too nice. That's mistake number 5. You think kindness will earn you respect, don't you? You think if you're always nice, always agreeable, always willing to help, they'll appreciate you. You think they'll see your good heart and reward you with admiration. But here's the reality. Being nice will not earn you respect. It will make you invisible. It will make you predictable. And the moment they see that, they will use it against you. Being nice is a mask you wear to hide your true intentions. It's the mask that says, I care about what you think of me. But when you wear it too often, you lose yourself. You become a puppet, dancing on their strings, trying to please everyone. The world doesn't respect the man who is too nice, because the nice guy is always the easiest to control. He says yes when he should say no. He sacrifices his own needs for the approval of others, and the more he does it, the more they use him. Think about it. When you're too nice, you lose your edge. You stop standing up for yourself. You stop setting boundaries, and when you stop setting boundaries, you become a doormat. They walk all over you, and they don't respect you for it. Respect isn't about being liked. It's not about always being agreeable or always being the nice guy. Respect comes from standing firm in your beliefs, in your actions, in your words. Respect comes from being unapologetic about who you are, about what you want, and about how you move through the world. When you're nice, you ask for permission, you ask for approval, you beg for their acceptance. But respect doesn't come from begging, it comes from taking it. Real power doesn't need to please anyone. Real power is not afraid to say no. Real power knows that being liked is not a requirement for success. Being respected is. Here's the truth. When you're too nice, you give up your power. You make yourself small in the eyes of those around you. You let their opinion of you define your worth. And when you do that, you stop controlling your own life. You stop commanding respect. Stop being too nice. Stop trying to please everyone. Stop letting others walk all over you. Start saying no. Start setting boundaries. Start demanding the respect that is rightfully yours. Mistake number 5. Being too nice. Stop it. The moment you stop trying to please everyone, you will find your true power. And when you stop being nice, that's when you begin to command respect. Over-explaining yourself. That's mistake number 6. You think that if you explain yourself enough, people will understand you. You think that if you justify your actions, your intentions will become clear. You think that by talking more, you'll earn their respect. But here's the truth. Over-explaining is weakness. It's a sign that you're insecure. The moment you start justifying your every move, you're telling them, "I'm not sure of myself." I need you to understand respect doesn't come from explaining. It comes from control. It comes from silence when it matters. It comes from letting your actions speak louder than your words. When you over-explain, you lose control. You give them the power to question you, to poke holes in your decisions. And once they start questioning you, you've already lost your authority. Think about the people you respect. Do they over-explain themselves? They don't need to. They don't waste time convincing others of their worth. They stand firm. They stay silent when needed. They let their actions speak for them, and they don't beg for anyone's understanding. The truth is this: when you over-explain, you weaken your position. You stop being the powerful figure who commands respect. You become the one who seeks validation, and people don't respect the man who seeks validation. Stop over-explaining yourself. Stop justifying your every decision. Stop talking until they understand. You don't need to explain yourself. Your actions will do that for you. Mistake number 6. Over-explaining. Stop it. The moment you stop over-explaining, that's when you start gaining respect. Let your silence be your strength. Let your actions speak for themselves. And remember, if you want to master this game, you need to understand these 9 mistakes. You can't afford to make them. Stay sharp. Stay untouchable. Caring too much about what they think. That's mistake number 7. You think their opinion defines you. You think if you can just fit into their mold, they'll respect you. But let me tell you this: their opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion of yourself is the only thing that counts. The moment you care too much about what others think, you give away your control. You start adjusting who you are. You start bending to their expectations, trying to please them. And the moment you do that, you're no longer in control. Respect isn't earned by changing who you are to fit their needs. Respect isn't earned by constantly asking for approval. It's earned by staying true to yourself. When you care too much about their thoughts, you show them that you need them to define your worth. And that's weakness. When you let others control your perception of yourself, you stop becoming a man who's untouchable. The world respects those who are unapologetically themselves, not the ones who keep adjusting, tweaking, and begging for approval. Those who demand respect don't need to seek it. They don't care if others like them or not. They command respect because they are who they are. Think about the people who stand out, the ones who lead. Do they care about others' opinions? They walk their own path, untouched by the noise. Stop adjusting for others. Stop fitting yourself into their box. Stop seeking their approval. When you stop caring about what they think, that's when you start living on your terms. That's when you start defining your own worth. Mistake number 7, caring too much about what they think. Let go of it, because once you stop letting their opinions dictate your life, you'll start moving untouchable, letting fear control you. That's mistake number 8. You think fear is something you can't escape, don't you? You think it's just part of life, something you have to accept. But fear is the silent killer of your respect. The moment you let fear dictate your actions, you give away your power. You think you're protecting yourself from failure, from rejection. But in reality, you're locking yourself in a cage. You're allowing fear to control your every decision, every move, and in the process, you're losing everything. Fear makes you hesitate. Fear stops you from taking the risks that will elevate you. Fear tells you to play it safe, to stay small, to stay in your comfort zone. And the moment you do that, you stop growing. The world doesn't respect the man who is afraid. It doesn't respect the man who's always second-guessing, always holding back. Respect is earned by those who face their fears, who take action despite the doubts, despite the discomfort. It's earned by the man who walks toward the danger, knowing that the only way forward is through it. Fear is an illusion. It's not real. It's something your mind creates to keep you safe, to keep you small. But the truth is, fear is the chain that holds you back from your full potential. Do you want to be the man who stays safe, who never takes risks, who never challenges himself? Or do you want to be the man who breaks through, the man who pushes past his fears and becomes something untouchable? Fear is there to test you. It's there to show you what's worth fighting for. And the only way to gain respect, true respect, is to show the world that you are not afraid. You are not afraid of rejection. You are not afraid of failure. You are not afraid to stand alone. Think about the most powerful people you know. Do they let fear control them? Number. They feel it, yes, but they don't let it control them. They face it head on. They take the risks that others won't, and that's why they stand above everyone else. The moment you stop letting fear control your life, you become unstoppable. The moment you face your fears, you become untouchable. You become the kind of man who others respect, because the world respects those who move forward even when fear tells them to stop. Mistake number 8, letting fear control you. Stop it. Stop listening to that voice inside your head telling you to play it safe. Step into the fear. Own it. Because only when you conquer your fears can you truly conquer the world around you. Caring about everyone's approval. That's mistake number 9. You think that if you make everyone like you, you'll gain respect. You think if you just fit into their mold, play their game, they'll see your value. You're wrong. The moment you seek approval, you lose. You lose control. You lose power. Respect is never earned by begging for it. It's taken by those who demand it. You think seeking validation will make them respect you. It makes you predictable. It makes you weak. It shows them that you're desperate for their approval. And once they see that, you lose. You can't be a man of power and seek approval from everyone. It's impossible. When you bend yourself to meet their expectations, you stop standing tall in your own value. You stop being the master of your own fate. You don't need anyone's approval. You define your own worth. The world doesn't respect the man who seeks validation. It respects the man who doesn't need anyone's permission to be who he is. It respects the man who walks into a room and their eyes are on him without him even trying. Stop seeking their approval. Stop bending to their expectations. Stop playing small. Stop adjusting yourself for their comfort. The moment you stop seeking their approval, that's when you start taking control. That's when you start defining your own value. And that's when true respect finds you. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. You've been taught that success comes when they say you're ready. You've been conditioned to think that you have to prove yourself to others, that you have to earn your place in their world. You're wrong. The moment you stop waiting for approval, the moment you stop asking for permission, you take control. They tell you to wait. They tell you to follow the rules, to ask for validation, to fit into their mold, to live by their script. You're not here to follow their rules. You're here to make your own. You're not here to fit in. You're here to take what you want. Respect isn't earned by asking for it. It's earned by taking it. It's earned by commanding it. You're not here to wait for life to happen to you. You're here to make life happen. The world respects the man who doesn't wait for opportunities. He creates them. He makes his own path. You don't ask for permission. You take what you want. And when you do, the world will have no choice but to follow. You decide your fate. You create your own future. Stop waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. You make it your time. Stop waiting for validation. Stop shrinking yourself. Stop looking to others for their approval. You are untouchable when you stop asking for permission to be great. When you stop asking for permission to rise, to lead, to become who you're meant to be. You don't need anyone's approval. You don't need their permission. The moment you stop waiting for validation from others, you step into your true power. You become the master of your own fate, and nothing can stop you. Now, listen carefully. If you're serious about mastering your power, watch every video on this channel. Learn how to take control, how to dominate, how to become untouchable. Like this video. Comment below and tell me how you will stop waiting for permission and start taking control. Subscribe now. Turn on notifications, because when you take control, the game changes, and you become the one who makes the rules. Control means nothing without mastery, and mastery begins within. You've learned to hold your ground. You've learned not to seek validation. But now comes the hardest battle, the one inside your own mind. Because a man who can't master himself will always kneel to something outside of him. You must become your own commander. Your thoughts, your emotions, your impulses, they either serve you or they betray you. If they serve you, sharpen them. If they betray you, silence them. Discipline is the highest form of power. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that obeys its own orders. Every move, every word, every pause should feel intentional, calculated, cold, precise. Most men crumble under emotion. They speak too soon. They act without thought. They burn bridges just to prove a point. And that's why they lose respect. You, however, must be different. Your composure must be unbreakable. Your calm must feel dangerous. Your silence must demand attention. Because stillness terrifies the weak. They don't know what a man is thinking when he shows nothing. Restraint is power. Consistency is dominance. The world bends to the man who moves with purpose and never breaks his rhythm. A man ruled by impulse is predictable. A man ruled by discipline is unstoppable. He doesn't react, he calculates. He doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't prove, he embodies. You want respect? Then make mastery your religion. When you control yourself, no one can control you. When you master your emotions, you command every situation. When you own your reactions, you dictate the outcome. Be the calm in chaos. Be the silence that unsettles the room. Be the man they can't read, but can't ignore. This is the essence of dominance. This is the heart of power. You've conquered others' opinions. Now conquer yourself. Because once you do, you own the game. You've heard the warnings. You've seen the traps. You've learned every mistake that destroys respect. Now comes the final test, becoming the man who cannot be broken. Most men learn the rules. Few ever learn how to rule themselves. But the rarest men, they become the rule. They move through life as if destiny bends to them, because it does. They've earned it. Becoming untouchable isn't about power alone. It's about detachment. It's about walking through chaos with your mind unshaken, your pulse steady, your intentions cold and clear. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't explain, you command. You no longer move for applause, you move for purpose. You no longer act for recognition. You act from strategy, every step, every silence, every choice, calculated, precise, ruthless when needed. Respect isn't something you ask for, it's something they give you, because they fear what happens if they don't. The world bows to the man who can't be moved by its noise. The man who can walk away from anything that doesn't serve his vision. The man who can burn bridges without looking back, because he knows he'll build empires from the ashes. That is what untouchable means. You don't flinch, you don't fold, you don't chase comfort, you hunt growth. You move in silence, while the loud ones crumble under their own noise. The weak will call you cold. Let them. The emotional will call you heartless. Let them. Because they can't understand that control is peace, that silence is dominance, that calm is the loudest form of power. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to be understood. You don't need to be liked. Because when you've mastered yourself, you already have everything they're still chasing. This world doesn't reward noise. It rewards precision. It rewards stillness under pressure. It rewards the one who moves when everyone else hesitates. So move. Move with intent. Move with purpose. Move like a man who already knows the outcome. Because once you stop reacting, you start controlling. And once you start controlling, you own everything. You've studied the mistakes. You've learned the rules. You've understood the cost of weakness. Now comes the decision. Will you remain who you were or become who you're meant to be? Because I've given you the map, the power, the understanding, but the choice is yours. You can go back to comfort, to distraction, to mediocrity, or you can step forward into control, discipline, and dominion. The world won't hand it to you. You take it. The throne is empty. The crown is waiting, and only the man who commands himself will ever be worthy to wear it.